The construction of a new men's prison is a big question on the minds of South Dakota voters tonight, as they have been since well before this summer. There is now a proposal to build a roughly 1,500-bed facility in Sioux Falls for no more than $650 million. And
while conversations about where and how to build a new men's prison persist, the demographics of inmates within the Department of Corrections do not accurately reflect South Dakota. In tonight's Eye on Keloland, Dan Santella talks to leaders about how they see the disparity when it comes to Native American inmates.
As the state of South Dakota seeks to turn this undeveloped plot of land in northeast Sioux Falls into this proposed men's prison, much of the attention has focused on the facility's location and cost. Less prevalent at times has been a focus on who spends time behind bars in South Dakota's Department of Corrections. The most recently available statistics tell us about 40% of inmates are Native American, while only around 8% of the state's population is Native. But before anyone living in any community is in prison, different factors might increase the odds of incarceration.
Access to behavioral health, substance abuse treatment, and just opportunities. Poverty is a huge reason why we're disproportionately represented in prison.
High poverty rates, unemployment, limited economic opportunities on reservations create conditions that there's vulnerability to crime and incarceration, right?
There's a lot of issues. It's a very complex, systemic problem.
Democratic Senator Red Dawn Foster of Pine Ridge is a member of the Oglala Sioux Tribe, and J. Garrett Renville is chairman of the Sisseton-Wahpeton Sioux Tribe.
Education gaps, lower graduation rates, underfunded schools, fewer higher education opportunities contribute to these cycles of disadvantage. I can go on. Health and addiction, right? Native communities face higher rates of mental health challenges, substance use disorders.
Foster brings up the availability of housing and culturally sensitive mental health care, while also pointing out that Project Prison Reset's task force, whose recommendations on the new prison the legislature will consider next week, did not include a voice speaking from a Native perspective.
We are not at the table as a part of the finding solutions, and so that needs to change. If we want to have a criminal justice system that is not just imprisoning our population, we need to have a seat at that table and be a part of the solution.
Democratic Representative Eric Emery of Rosebud, a member of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe, also brings up culture.
Culture of healing, mentorship, reentry support. If we don't have those within this new prison, we're just going to keep repeating ourselves and continuously housing more Native Americans in prison.
South Dakota Governor Larry Roden's website says the proposed men's facility in Sioux Falls will have, quote, greatly expanded vocational areas, as well as the opportunity for, quote, Native American-focused programs. As members of the legislature, Foster and Emery are each set to vote on the proposed prison next week.
I know that the status of the prison is such in a way that it's dangerous for our prisoners and as well as our corrections officers. So knowing that, I'm inclined to be voting yes.
But Foster was not yet ready to say which way she is leaning.
At this point, I am still doing research. I'm reaching out to the tribes because this, again, disproportionately affects Native people.
These votes, along with those of their colleagues in the state capitol, have the potential to impact every community within the state's borders.
Are we building hope and healing, or are we just building more cells?
And unity, as Renville points out, can go a long way in helping answer that.
The challenges are many, and what it's really going to take to fix that is truly coming together as South Dakota, tribal and non-tribal, and advocating at the highest levels of our government to make these changes and these fixes.
With Eye on Keloland, I'm Dan Santella.
On Tuesday, the state legislature is set to consider the bill which gives the state permission to buy land along Benson Road in Sioux Falls and build a new men's prison at that location. Since the legislation appropriates money, legislative rules say it needs the support of at least 2/3 of both the Senate and the House.
This means at least 24 supporters in the Senate and 47 in the House. Roden today announced a plan for a correctional rehabilitation task force. A news release from the governor's office states that the group, which will include tribal representation, will assess the structure of, quote, treatment programming and vocational training.